Two new commitments for BC. Woohoo, good news there. But all of a sudden, the quarterback situation in the class of 24 just got a little tighter. That sound is our chest getting a little tighter here, but there may be another answer here. We'll get into that on today's show.
You are Locked On Boston College, your daily podcast on the Boston College Eagles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, folks, this is Locked On BC. I am your host, AJ Black. Happy Friday. This episode is brought to you by Birddogs. Go to birddogs.com/lockedoncollege and they'll throw in a free custom Birddogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. Folks, we are in a crazy month of June here. We're into week number 3 of the official visit season, where there's 9 visitors coming to Boston College this weekend. If you want those information, go to Eagle Insider. I got all laid out with who's coming and where BC stands. But the news I'm bringing to you today is about commitments and what many people view the most important position on the field, and that is the quarterback position. And so on today's show, I want to look at where BC currently stands, because the situation got a little bit more dire. So when we've been talking about the quarterbacks for a couple months now, it's been about 5 different guys. We saw Ryan Puglisi. That was the big one at first. Well, he ended up deciding that, hey, I'm totally fine being the backup at Georgia. All power to him. You're going to play for a national championship caliber team. Can't hate on him for doing that. Okay, he's gone. Then it was Aiden Glover, a quarterback who was just on campus 2 weeks ago. Well, he's off to Missouri now. He never really seemed like he was that high on BC, so that one wasn't a big surprise. Then it's Miles O'Neill, formerly of Marblehead, Massachusetts, who is playing at the Hunt School in New Jersey now. He is going to be the second quarterback in the class for Texas A&M. I mean, I get it. That's a school that has a lot of money. That is a school that plays in the SEC. Can't hate him on for that. That being said, when's the last time Texas A&M has ever had a good quarterback that's been successful in the NFL? Johnny football doesn't count. He's gone. He's going to be the backup there. I mean, whatever. And then that leaves you with one guy left. BC is now down to one quarterback, and that is Henry Hasselbeck, son of Matt Hasselbeck. We've talked about Henry a bunch on this podcast. He took his official visit last week. We have the interview up on Eagle Insider. If you're listening right now, by the way, cheap plug, go to Eagle Insider. If you're listening live before midnight, you can get 60% off any subscription. It ends at midnight, so get over there now. Sign up right now. We've had 30 plus subscribers in 15 days. For a school like BC, that is huge. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. So you need to come over there too. But anyways, Henry has been checking out Michigan State. He's going to be checking out Pitt. He's going to check out UAB. And there's one other school I'm totally blank. I think, no, actually, those are all 3. He's checking out 4 schools. And he has BC. So now BC is down to one quarterback option. It's Hasselbeck. This is the kid from Zavarian Brothers, son of Matt Hasselbeck. Will he end up at BC? That's a big question. I mean, Michigan State's a big offer. Pitt is a big offer. Will he stick with the Eagles? From what I've heard, and I've talked to people, he's enjoying the recruiting process. He has no rush to make a decision. When I talk to Henry, it doesn't sound like he's going to be making a decision anytime soon, unless a program pushes him. His goal is just to sit back, relax, and let the recruiting, just flow over him. And who can blame him? You have schools drooling all over you. Why not do that, right? For BC, though, they're kind of left in the lurch here. if they don't get Henry Hasselbeck, what do they do? That's a big question. And I think the answer goes back to just a month ago. BC did a preemptive strike in here, and it kind of leads into where this whole college football thing is going. They landed Thomas Castellanos out of UCF. I wouldn't be surprised if the school feels that if they strike out on all their 24 quarterbacks, instead of just taking a reach and wasting a scholarship, they can view it as, okay, our class of 24 quarterback is Castellanos. That's our guy. That's what we're going to do. And then we'll look at 25 because there's some guys that they're looking at already at 25. That might be where they go if they miss on Hasselbeck. They may be just thinking that the transfer portal is the guy that they're going to do it. And honestly, I know folks are probably gnashing their teeth listening to this at home, but kind of isn't that what you wanted from BC? Isn't this what a lot of folks have been asking? Like, take advantage of the transfer portal, right? Like, if BC can't make a move in the transfer portal, just like some schools can't, I mean, in the recruiting, hit it in the transfer portal. They already did it. They got a guy that they like. That kind of counts, right? So I think I kind of agree with, like, if this is the case, that's fine. I think Castellanos is the good one, but I have a crystal ball placed for Henry Hasselbeck that I placed, I think it was April 1st. We are now at June 16th, 15th, if you're listening live, and I'm not changing it. I still think he ends up at BC. I think he'll end up moving off of lacrosse and ending up at Boston College to play football. We'll have to wait and see, though. I'm going to have to wait to hear what I hear. And like right now, he didn't sound like overly enthused. I mean, if he really liked Michigan State, he would have canceled his other officials and gone there. But I think it's up the air. And the other official that he's going to take it to UAB, he's not going to UAB. let's just be blunt there. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, in a moment, we're going to go from the hypothetical to what the pen and paper commitments BC has landed, as the Eagles added 2 more on Wednesday. I'm going to get into who they are and what they could bring to the Eagles. But I want to get into Birddogs for a second here, because Birddogs is my choice for the summer. Birddogs stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and legs, giving you a truly sculpted look. They do the exact same thing as Lululemon, but they fit way better. I mean, folks, I'm wearing my plaid Birddogs right now, and I am so happy that I am. They're so comfortable. They look good. They look professional. They look like you can. I mean, the best part of Birddogs is seriously, they're so multidimensional. You can wear them to look nice. You can go to a bar with them. You can go running with them. You can do whatever you want with these, and they work. That's the best part of it. So go to birddogs.com/lockedoncollege for a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/lockedoncollege for a free Yeti-style tumbler. You don't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you. I don't want to. This is Locked On BC. I am your host, AJ Black. Now, let's chat about some of the big news over the week. On Wednesday, 2 newer names committed to BC. We're going to go over one each segment. The first was Jackson Santiago, a tight end from Centennial, California. He's 6'4". He had offers from a lot of Ivy schools. You watch his film, though, and that's what stood out to me about Santiago. He's a 3-star recruit. He's a catching tight end. This is not a tight end in the sense of a guy that you're going to throw out there and expect to run block 3/4 of the game, because that's not what he does. He's not big enough to do that. He's more of that hybrid wide receiver tight end type of guy, too big to cover with a cornerback, but too fast to cover with a linebacker. And I think that's kind of what BC's been looking for. They got Tajee Johnson, who kind of fills that role right now. But just a couple of years ago, it was this guy, RJ Maryland out of Texas, who is now at SMU. This was the kind of guy for their roster that they were looking for, a guy that they hoped they could line up out there and cause matchup problems. They lost Maryland. I think it was the last day of signing period. He ended up decommitting, and I honestly don't know what the reason was for it. But Santiago, yeah, if you're just gonna fall in love with offer lists, he's not the most impressive recruit BC's landed. He's not Keontae Henry or Josiah Martin, right? He's not going to be those types of guys. Watch his film now, folks. Go to Huddle, look up Jackson. It's Jaxton. I love that name, Santiago, and watch him. He's playing against pretty good competition in California, and he's getting up there, and he makes those defensive backs look silly. So, there's going to be guys. You're not always going to get a full class of recruits that have multiple P5 offers. Every school's going to have a couple. Every school has some that are going to be guys that fly a little under the radar. The coaches watch the film, they meet the kid, and they are like, okay, that's that guy. This is Santiago. And to float my own boat again, I had a crystal ball for him in about a week ago. I knew BC was going to go for him. And the bigger question now is, folks are going to be asking, is where does this leave the tight end situation? Because he's not, if you're looking at BC's big board, that's the ranking of all the recruits that they're looking at and where they might look at them. I could tell you Santiago's not the top tight end that we're looking at. That would be Benjamin Blackburn, who was just here last weekend. Does that mean that BC is done with Blackburn? Absolutely not. Does that mean BC's out and they knew that? Nope. From what I've heard, BC's going to possibly go with both of them. I think they're still hoping to get both of them because both of these guys, Blackburn, who's from Miami, he's more the typical tight end that you get. 6'7", he's big, a blocker. He can do a lot more that end while Santiago's more of the pass catching tight end. Blackburn is down to 3 schools, basically: Georgia Tech, BC, and Duke. I've already said on my message boards where I think that could happen there, but I think the ending goal here is that the hope is that you get both of them because you need some depth there. You add them in with Matt Regan. You add them in with why am I totally blanking? Jeremiah Franklin. My goodness, my brain's rotted today. You add them with the guys like that, you're starting to build some depth there, right? And that's what Hafley has been hoping for. So I don't think that Santiago means the end of the pursuit of Benjamin Blackburn. But if they don't close on Blackburn, if Blackburn ends up going to one of these other schools, then BC has one guy. And again, go back to this. You can use the transfer portal. There's nothing saying Boston College can go for their top guys, and if there's nothing there, instead of just taking a flyer on a guy that may never turn into something and ends up transferring to an FCS school or out of football in a year or two, go in the transfer portal, get somebody else. That's the beauty of the new format of college football. It kind of stinks for the kids because it makes it so it's harder for kids to get scholarships, but that's just the way things are. That's the new reality of college football here, folks. So if BC blows past, if they lose on Blackburn, and I'm not saying that they will, because I think there's a good chance that they land him, then don't go out there and just guess on a guy. Go out there in the transfer portal, and maybe if that's what you want, you see a guy that fits your scheme and has already played a little bit. Boom, you get your fill in. Second segment in a row, I'm saying this, right? If they miss out on Hasselbeck, you already went in the transfer portal, you do it. If you miss out on Blackburn, you wait and do it in the transfer portal again. Now, in our final segment, I'm going to get into a name not many folks will know, but has a last name that many BC fans that are longtime fans recognize immediately. We'll get into who this player is and why he may be the most underrated recruit on this class in just a moment. This is Locked On BC. I am your host, AJ Black. If you're following along on YouTube, thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Hit the like button on these videos. We're going to have a whole new format, I think on Monday, where you visually is going to look really cool. The Locked On folks have created a template. I think it's going to look really snazzy. I hope you check that out. Now, on our screen, I love these pictures. I want to shout out the guy that created all these pictures, and I don't have his name in front of me. But he's the guy that did all the photo shoots for BC. And I think if you're not on the site, I mean on the YouTube page, you can go to Eagle Insider. I use all his photos because the kids give them to me. They're fantastic. And this on the video on the page right now is Charlie Camilla, who is a athlete from Zavarian Brothers. Now he is a multi-sport athlete who plays baseball, football. He's a defensive back and wide receiver. I believe he also plays track. So this is a guy that plays a lot, but he doesn't, up until I think it was yesterday, he did not have a 247 profile. This is a guy that no one knew about, really. I talked to him back in September. He's a legacy. His dad played at BC. I think his dad played at Stanford. His uncle played at BC. And so he's got football in his blood. And according to things that I've heard, he he ripped I think like a 4.6 40 as a defensive back at one of the camps. And really, I know the staff was really high on him. Now he, again, doesn't have a ton of big offers, but this is a guy that's kind of under the radar. He's got a legacy. He goes to school. I mean, he's Hasselbeck's teammate. There's nothing wrong with taking this kid, especially if you think that he's going to turn into something. Now he's probably going to be a defensive back. I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver on the team. But he'll probably be more of a developmental guy, right? He's got speed. He needs a little bit more probably physicality. We'll have to wait to see what they do with him in that sense. But they bring him in, okay? And this now gives you 8 commitments, 7 in the month of June. So BC is on a tear right now, recruiting. Now, the bigger questions have remained. Will they be able to land another 4-star? Will they be able to get their quarterback? Offensive line still remains a question. All of these are things that are worth watching. I just want to say, though, that I've said this all along, right? When I've been saying on these recruiting shows before June, I said, wait till they get the kids on campus. It'll start to click. And what happened? They got on campus. It starts to click. I saw a lot of gnashing of teeth, and I get it, right? When you're recruiting when you were 3-9, your coach is arguably on the hot seat. You haven't had much luck. It's hard to just do it over phone, doing it over Zoom, all that stuff. Once you get them on campus, you get them talking. I mean, I'll just say right now, one of the interviews that I had was with Alex Broom, who was telling kids, look, we went 3-9 last year. That ain't happening again. It's not happening. That resonates with kids. That resonates with these class of 24 recruits. So that is something else to watch for. Now, this weekend, as I said, there's 9 coming on campus. There's a couple offensive linemen. I think you're going to really want to watch on those ones. There's a couple defensive linemen. There's a couple skill players. And I think you're going to probably get up to our 10 after this weekend, which is what I told you they would do. Look, hate on me all you want. Call me a BC apologist. Call me a honk, whatever you want to say. Just remember this. I told you there was going to be 10 plus commitments in the month of June. We're at 7 and it's June 14th. I told you BC would land a 4-star commitment. It's June 14th. They've already landed 1. There's a potential targets for another 1 or 2. I told you BC would land multiple wide receivers and running backs. They have 2 wide receivers and 1 running back, and they could probably land a second one anytime. Look, I'm telling you, I'm gonna float my own boat here and tell you I was right. So buckle up. There's 2 more weeks left. And then they can do more official visits. They're starting to look at the class of 25 as well. And we'll get into all of that as we go on. Now, other news that are going on, anything else that's going on. I already ranted and raved about the baseball team losing their pitching coach and baseball hitting coach. You can go back and listen to that. There is rumors. I heard David Teal in one of his recent columns said that for the SEC ACC challenge, the first year we're moving past the Big Ten, BC could be playing the University of Georgia, who has not had a good basketball team, but hey, it's Georgia, right? That's a big program. That could be big news. And Eamon Powell, I believe, was just named the captain of the hockey team. So that's pretty cool as well. Well, I'm going to head out. Hopefully, all you dads out there, I know there's a lot of dads that listen. I hope you all have a great Father's Day. I am going to sit back. Well, no, I'm kidding. My daughter has a birthday the same weekend as Father's Day. I'm grilling for a birthday party on Father's Day. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Give me a beer or two, some good music. I'll sit on the grill. That's a good Father's Day for me. But for all of you other fathers out there, I hope you have a great Father's Day. And again, if you're listening to this, head over to Eagle Insider right now. In 3 hours, we are losing our 60% off deal for an annual subscription. We've had 30 plus subscribers already. It's been incredible for a Boston College site. We're in the top 30 in the network. We're beating out some big time programs here. It's all because of you. Thank you all. Make sure you join right now. Go to Eagle Insider on 247. Join and hit that subscribe button here. We'll be back on Monday. We're going to wrap up this new weekend. If there's not a lot of recruiting news, we'll have Mitch on. But I've told Mitch he's kind of on retainer right now while it's big time recruiting news time. We'll have him back. Don't worry. He'll be back soon. But for Mitch, this is AJ. Follow me on Twitter at AJBlack247. We'll see y'all again soon. Take care, everyone.